Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jordan Lee Tarot. This curtain is blocking the brightest sunshine you can imagine. I'm telling you this because I feel personally victimized by the sunshine every time today I try to do this reading. So, without further ado, we are using the curtain to help make this look nice. The decks for today are the Inner Child Oracle, the Light Seers Tarot, and the Places Oracle. I call this my Places and Spaces deck. So, okay, let's get into it. Bear with me. The amount of times I've tried this and the sun is behind the clouds, and then I get into position to make this video and the sun comes out and blasts me is almost comical. It does not feel malicious. It actually feels quite playful. So I am just going to go ahead and do the reading. It didn't feel like a warning sign to like, no, stop, don't. It was more like, it's more like your little brother that just keeps trying to interrupt you, while you're like on IM chat with your boyfriend back in the, early 2000s? Whenever that was happening. All right. So I'm going to start with the Places and Spaces Oracle and see what comes up for today's messages. All right. Where land and sea meet, endless horizons, the beach. Now, if you remember, I did a reading not too long ago, a few days, about where the land and the water meet. That's crazy. That's cool. That's cool. All right, so I'm getting dry and wet coming together to be properly moistened, not to be weird. This is something about growth. The conditions for growth are ideal because the soil is wet. Okay. I don't ask a question. Oh my. Aromatic brews, solitude, and socializing. Okay. So you might be one of the loners on your laptop chilling in the communal space, or you are there in a more communal way. This just kind of looks like an introvert's way to socialize. I always had this great idea that I should run retreats, but for introverts that are like crafting, scrapbooking, meditation, yoga, nature walks, book reading, book club discussions, food making, and you can kind of choose what you engage in because sometimes introverts like specific things but not other things. So I always thought that was a really great idea for community in a way that was still allowing for personal space, boundaries, and just honoring that some people are more introverted. So that could be something here with introvertedness versus being a part of a community and learning how to balance that. Because sometimes being in your own energy alone is not, it's not that it's not good, it's just that other perspectives, other visual ideas, other trains of thought are very powerful and necessary to help us with our way of doing things. Okay, let's wrangle this into a topic, Spirit. I feel like we're rambling. Sanctuary of Creativity, Quiet Reflection. So with this card, this is an art gallery, and I'm getting that the subjectiveness of art and what a person sees is based on just what they've experienced, their perception of the world, their general thoughts about creativity and art. Let me think here. How is this flowing together, Spirit? I'm not quite sure. So, oh my. Nature's monuments. enduring challenges. Okay, so there's something here about wandering around a little bit to get to the point, which is definitely how I feel with this reading. I'm like, what is happening? Please talk to me. Take me through this. Okay, one more. The cards are flying around. All right. Hotel, sweet retreat, heartwarming hospitality. Interesting. Okay. Can we clarify that? Adventure's path, self-discovery. Okay. So something about retreating to the nature. I don't look at this as an actual hotel. I'm not really getting that this has much significance. It is the retreat. Something about being alone to come into alignment. Obviously, being out in nature is beautiful and beneficial and absolutely necessary because we are electrical beings. Our battery does get drained. We need to be recharged. And there are certain things that we just cannot recharge when we are indoors. I'm going to say that again. There are certain things within ourselves, because we are electrical beings, that we cannot fully recharge indoors. We need the outdoors. We need the electrical charges of the grass, the trees, the bark, the moss. Again, I'm hearing with the moss that it's the land and the sea coming together in the moisture of the moss, in the earthiness of the moss. You know, it's those two elements coming together. I do apologize. I really hope that this is finding someone who needs it. It feels a little rambly. All right, be still. Cultivate a space of stillness and silence to just be. Echoing the nature card. Maybe this is about not needing to have a cohesive thought to this reading. Maybe it's just a bunch of jumbled advice. Sometimes the reader has to get out of the way. So I take myself out of it and just let everything flow as it needs to. Choose yourself today. Do not deny your importance. So I got this in a different reading, and I'm going to have to say that there is something really important about your specific part in the tapestry that is the world. And we sometimes forget how important we are. You think because you spend so much time alone, I'm not in society that much, they don't need me, right? But your very presence, your very energy is important and necessary. So there is something about denying the sacred. We are sacred beings. We are created in the image and likeness of a creator, whether you believe in religion or not. We are creative beings. We are most alive when we create as creative beings. And I think for those that have a low opinion of themselves, do not acknowledge the divine within them. And this is talking about two things. Choose yourself today is acknowledging the human side of like, hey, I have needs. I need to choose myself today. I need to choose to stay home and not go out. But the do not deny your importance is basically saying you are divine as well. So you are human, but yet you are divine. You are human, but you are divine. So there's a real oxymoron in that I really love. And I think it speaks to the this but that, this but that. So I'm getting a lot of opposites, land and sea, but coming together, divine humanness and divine divinity coming together, that you really start to see the defined edges, and then things start to come together and they create this beautiful thing that is interesting because of its contradictions. So we, as divine beings coming into human form, messing up as humans do every day, is a contradiction. But yet we are divine beings. So isn't that interesting? I think that's really, really, it's a strong point to be said about the witness self and the unconscious human self, the higher self and the lower self, if you want to call it the lower self. I don't really think it's lower. It's just, it's the part of you that's like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I need to go pee. Like, these are human things, right? Oh, I'm cold. Oh, I need to go to the grocery store. So you have needs that are human needs, and you can't stop having those human needs. You're never going to. And yet, to understand that we are limitless and that our soul continues and goes on, that's pretty magical. That all of that can exist here and in here. And then we start to realize what a divine gift a reincarnation is. Okay? Queen of Pentacles. I love this Queen of Pentacles card. She's just chilling. She is so unbothered. She knows that her needs are met. She's divinely guided to do the things she needs to do in perfect time, to get what she needs, to get what she wants, but also to serve her divine purpose. And I'm saying that as a she because this energy is feminine energy, but this could be masculine men that are embracing being taken care of by the universe, okay? The masculine container in its human form is at its highest level when it is containing the feminine. I don't mean controlling the feminine, I mean containing the feminine. So you provide that masculine container for the feminine, but there is still a part of you that is a nourisher, can be maternal, can lean into being cared for by the universe as mother. So there's definite potential for that card to just have a beautiful echoing throughout for all people. Okay. Divine inspiration. The divine inspiration of the intuition is really how things are going to come down. This is how you're going to get messages. This is how you're going to know what to do. This is what's going to guide you. Did you ever just do something and it felt right? And then you did something else and you're like, something's not quite right. This doesn't feel right. It doesn't really need to make sense to the logical mind. It just feels like a decision that you already made about something, but you don't know that you made it, but you made it. And so it just echoes through your body as like, oh, I should be doing this now. Or, oh, I'm doing this and this doesn't feel like it's completing anything within me. And part of my plan is to do the things that complete me and further my soul growth, get me to where I planned to go. Just had a beautiful conversation with another fellow healer and creator on YouTube. Very excited to collaborate with her on my podcast. So I'm just going to put that out there in this video that's very exciting. Other YouTube creators supporting each other is really awesome. And I'm so new to this platform, but I've been a healer for a decade at least. And she and I talked about the time release of all of that, how there's like multiple groupings of healers that come onto YouTube at certain times, and how there are a lot of us that have been healers for such a long time, but for whatever reason, now is the time that we're like, now you come onto YouTube and this is now your platform that you're going to use to share what you have gained as far as wisdom. And I'm feeling this card has something to do with that within creators who are watching this, but also people who are coming into that divine realization that they are creative beings, and that no matter who you are, especially masculine, right? Because they think, well, I don't give birth to anything. Well, yes, you do. You give birth to a business idea, or you care for your children in such a loving and maternal way. Like that's normal and good that a masculine tap into that energy. So don't get tripped up by the idea that this is a womanly energy only. Okay. Ace of Wands clarified. Yeah, so I think this is about organizing your thoughts before you move forward. And the Chariot card is always beautiful because it is those two opposing energies that you're like riding, right? You're riding the contrast to success. You're like, ooh, I'm a divine being, but I'm also a human. That's weird. But like, okay, I'm doing it. I'm riding the wave and I'm getting there. Really, really beautiful. Maybe this is a message for other creators. Maybe this is just really a call to start your YouTube channel if you are one of the creators that are being drawn out of the darkness, out of the darkness into the light. All right. Love these curtains so much, but so does my cat. Did not think that through. Yeah. So anyway. Sometimes I'll find her trying to climb the curtains and I'm like, no. She, of course, does not listen. All right. All right. So, riding the intuitive wave to success. That's really what I'm getting here. The heart of this is riding that divine energy, the divine inspiration, the humanness, the sacredness, riding that to success. And again, this is also trusting, like what I feel in this particular image, this person trusts their intuition. Their eyes are closed, they're tapping in, and they're creating stable things as a result of what is happening here. This is that quiet time in the nature leading to these intuitive insights. It's finally coming together from a brain, leading you to actually move forward. Now it's like, okay, go. Now do the thing. Now actually start your Google account. Now actually start your YouTube. Okay, get the microphone equipment you need to record the video. Make sure that your lighting is good. Pick a spot in the house and start to make your video. Like that, the doing, right? I want to move. I want to relocate. Great. Go get some boxes. Start packing up the stuff that you don't need anymore. Start showing the universe that you're ready, and then those steps unfold. Leading to success, because this is on stage, she's like, woohoo, I did it, there's just such this beautiful triumphant energy here, and maybe the only person in that audience is you, showing yourself that you can be successful doing something that you never thought you would do, or taking a leap that felt way too big or scary, or just doing something you never even imagined doing, but you felt called to do it. I'm 40 years old and now I'm really interested in ice skating. Great, do it. Maybe it'll lead you somewhere that you never realized you needed to go. Meet a person you never thought you would need to meet to do something that you've always wanted to do in the wildest, quietest dreams you've ever had, right? It's that. So, some people like to say that you need to shake up what you're doing and show the universe that you're ready for new things. So like if you normally just like go straight home after work, like go to the trampoline park and jump on the trampoline for 30 minutes before you go home. And just doing like weird zig things when you're supposed to zag can really, it changes your neural patterns. It brings you into a more open, receptive state so that when spirit goes, okay, we're going to do this again, but we're going to do it with something bigger in your life. And you're like, oh, okay. Now the reason why I started to listen to Source makes sense, because Source will test you. It'll test the waters. How ready are they? How ready are they to lean into what I'm asking them to do, right? I relocated and moved 3,000 miles across the country, and I was very nervous. I was very scared. And I get here, I'm where I'm at for about 5 months, and now I'm being called to move again, not nearly as far. But the point remains, why am I being asked to move after I just moved? Right? And I think it's that I'm not being tested. I don't like that phrase. I'm being prepared for some of the other asks that make less sense. Like the move across the country, it made sense, but it didn't make sense. This move makes even less sense because of the fact that I wasn't planning on moving to this area. When I originally moved, I was planning to move to the area that I moved, and this felt like a beautiful spot, and I thought I was going to be here for a long while. And then it's like, oh, we're going to move you 3 hours away. So this is what I'm talking about. If I hadn't been prepared and receptive for the first move, then I would have never been receptive to like another move so quick. Spirit is building those muscles of intuitive listening. Okay. And that makes a big difference. Sorry, I'm really trying to keep the light clean and not distracting. So, what is that for you in your life? Okay. We're just rolling it through. Yeah. So, this is how you jump from one lifetime to another without going back to non physical. This is how you die without dying, right? You can completely restructure who you are by restructuring your brain. And so, spirit will lead you into quirky patterns. And they'll be like, I know this does not look like anything normal, but I trust that if you follow this path, we're going to lead you to the life that you are showing us that you want. So, again, people always wonder, how do you build a new life when you're nervous or stuck or scared? It's through the mental patterns, the neural pathways, the ideas you get. You're not going to get ideas that you're not ready to get, but spirit will lead you there with your thoughts, if that makes sense. So you're not going to really start to get disgusted with your job until it is time to leave. And when you start to get disgusted with a job that you previously loved, now you're like, why do I hate this job? I love this job. I wanted this job so much. That was your old life. This is your new life. You don't need that old job in this new life. So get it out of there. Now you're going to start to feel annoyed. Now you're going to start to feel really heavy on Sunday nights when you have to go to work on Monday. I never felt this way before. Well, now you're being led to do something else. And now you kind of feel like, oh, I want to spend all my time doing this, but I got to go into work and I want to work from home because I have this other thing I'm starting to learn about and do. And it makes me really excited. So this is how spirit leads you down this path. And I think it's what I'm getting from this message is that spirit is trying to have me explain to you how they're going to lead you from one life to another, how they're going to lead you from what you are living now to the life that you say that you want. And changes will need to happen, and it will happen gradually and continually, and you will be led at the speed that you are ready for. And this is different for every person. But listening to spirit and intuitive nudges is a muscle. It's something that you need to gain traction with. And sometimes the asks are just to give you a little baby hop, like, oh, do this weird thing. You're like, okay, didn't really make sense, but it put you just a little bit to the right so that you could then get this opportunity that takes you up here within a month, right? So you couldn't get from here to here directly, but going over here just a little bit puts you in a trampoline position to go boink and jump up to that next level. So that's how things, sorry, as I pull the curtains down, that's how the brain is structured, and how spirit guides us on those neural pathways to jumping bean us from spot to quantum jump. It's getting rather cumbersome, sorry. All right, so one more for this full tarot deck. All right. So this is talking about this Knight of Swords card. This is kind of like once that idea is coming to fruition, then go run, jump on your motorcycle and go for it. You've got clarity, and like you see that kind of like the wind at your back, that kind of like whoosh, go forward, my son or woman, son or daughter, I guess that would be. Go forward, go for it, because you've been prepared, you've been lined up for it. So let me go into the inner child oracle for one last closing thought. Be true to who you are. Fear will not stop you from shining, my unicorn. This is a transformative unicorn butterfly. I hear my cat making a ruckus outside. She really is a psycho sometimes. Be true to who you are. Fear will not stop you from shining. So like I said, this collective is being led to a higher timeline. This is how it will potentially look. And just don't discount the importance of, you doing something small that feels insignificant, but it's going to lead you into a position where you're going to be a leader in 6 months to a year from now in a way that you could have never imagined. So again, I think I'm talking to fellow leaders who are just stepping on those last few steps, or maybe starting on the path to really, really up level. Like you've up leveled a few times, but they were kind of small jumps. This one's pretty big. That's why I see this as a big change, a big undertaking, because it's not just a unicorn, it's a unicorn and a butterfly. And again, this is just kind of two seemingly opposite things coming together, but creating this new beautiful environment, this new beautiful being in which you are divine and also still very human. So I hope that this message had value for you. And until next time, I hope you have a beautiful day.